in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
Yes. Oh, babe. Yes, babe. Oh, yes. Oh, babe. Yes, babe. I hope she answers my prayer tonight. Open your heart and let me pour my love inside of you, baby. Inside of you. You make me feel like living and breathing again. I wanna touch you. I wanna touch you.
Welcome in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Getting it started with a little R&B vibe to get you through that midweek Wednesday. You know, maybe feeling a little bit of it's hump day. I'm just trying to get through it. That's going to help you get through it. Welcome in. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture with me, your host, Jill Munroe. Let me give you a rundown of what we're going to get into tonight. So in hour one, we're going to discuss actor Terry Crews. He was the latest to step into Club Shay Shay, and the conversation turned to some of the actors' recent vocalization of their complaints about the play structure. I guess I shouldn't say complaints, but, you know, the inequality and different things and what they have and haven't been paid. And so he had an interesting take on what he feels is happening and what they perhaps should do. So we're going to get into that. And then we're going to talk about two of sports' biggest ladies that are running things, Taylor Rooks and Joy Taylor. They have a new podcast that dropped recently, and on it, they were discussing pretty privilege. And it's a conversation that we've had on this show quite a few times, and their perspective is it's not as important. It doesn't help as much as people seem to think that it does. So we're going to get into their comments and why. And, you know, there's a lot happening. It's moving quickly with the latest lawsuit against Puff Daddy P. Diddy. And there are a lot of moving parts, but Meek Mill decided to take to X, formerly Twitter, and share his thoughts. And, you know, Meek Mill is an interesting guy. So we're going to get into his comments. But before we do all that, we're going to start the night out with a couple of conversation starters. Well, actually, before we get into the conversation starters, if at any point tonight you want to get in on the conversation, hit us up, 800-920-1580. We love to hear from you. Also, you know, make sure to hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. You can follow me at Stiletto Jill everywhere. And, of course, if you want the video experience to go along with this audio experience, tap in with us on our YouTube page. The chat is always bubbling over there. And get into it. Now, the conversation starters. First up, we have to shout out Russell Westbrook. He has announced his affordable housing project will be launched at Manchester in Vermont. He's partnering with Target, so there'll be a Target at the bottom. It'll be affordable housing, and there'll be other developments that will be in the area. Russell is a South LA native, Long Beach, and he's putting on for his community. If you recall, the land was seized from a developer, Eli Sasson, I believe it was, in November of 2017, and it was highly contested. Um, and now it is going to be developed, and, Russ is putting down roots for the city. So shout out to him. We appreciate it. And it's a great way to almost end Black History Month. So we appreciate that. Also, doing some good during Black History Month, we know that Beyonce's Sacred line has launched, and they've announced scholarships for different beauty colleges across the country. Here in Southern California, it will be, well, it's actually for the entire state of California, the Universal College of Beauty in LA. So, it's through Beyonce's Be Good Foundation. Tina Knowles went and announced it there to the students. So, not just creating a hair care brand, which is getting very good reviews, by the way, and but also creating the next generation of stylists. We have the conversation a lot about how these stylists are not actually stylists, and where's the service and where's the technique. And Tina Knowles is out there making sure that we have a future wave of stylists that know hair care as well as the style. So I appreciate that. Again, a nice thing for Black History Month. When we come forward, we're going to get into the announcement of someone who's going to be leaving prison soon. And, of course, more trending topics and headlines. All of that on the other side. And it's Wednesday, so that also means that our Keep It Real friend, Trent the artist, Trent Jackson, is in the building. So we'll have him join us and get into these trending topics. All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Listen up, City of Los Angeles renters that live in rent-controlled units. Landlords can now increase your rent by 4%. Know these 3 facts. The rent increase is allowed February 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. An extra 1% per utility up to 6% can be added if the landlord pays the entire gas and electric bill. And illegal rent increase complaints can be filed at housing.lacity.org. Check if you live in a rent-controlled unit and learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, if you weren't aware, Season 3 of the Star's crime drama BMF comes back on Friday. And tomorrow, we're going to have interviews with the cast on the show. But that is relevant to my tease because it has just been announced that a judge has approved Big Meech's request to be released early by 32 months, meaning that he'll be coming home in 2025. So that means season 4 of BMF is going to be lit, right?
Real.
I don't know I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I do a little, but tap in for the interviews tomorrow. Tap into the show on Friday, and Free Big Meech is a reality, I suppose. So.
I love it.
Do you love it? Also, listen. Did you know Leonardo DiCaprio keeps up with Black Twitter and some of the things going on there? Now, we know Leonardo's a big hip-hop head, right? But recently, on Drewski's interview, he was discussing how he was at Michael Rubin's party and Leonardo DiCaprio was there. And through some type of event, Drewski said he was hanging out with Odell Beckham Jr. and, you know, people of his ilk that he's familiar with. And somehow, some way, someone attempted to introduce him to Leonardo DiCaprio, and he was like, Drewski, I know you. What is his records thing? I always lose his Cash Money ripoff records things. What is it? Could have been records. Leo knew that. Was like, could have been records. That's funny. Drewski said he was outdone. To add to that, we know who LaRon is, right? He was with the kids and he would ask, you know, them just, are they smart? And they would spell things. He was at an event and someone somehow got in the same space with Leonardo and attempted to introduce him. And Leonardo was like, Jabria, are you smart? So I am kind of fascinated and just curious how he keeps up with these various ongoings. I mean, I know there's spills somewhere, but he seemed to be very intimate with the knowledge. As I mentioned, it is Wednesday, and our Keep It Real friend is in the building, Trent Jackson. Trent, the artist, welcome back.
Hey, what's up? How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that?
It doesn't surprise me that Leonardo DiCaprio is fake black or black adjacent because when you said that, the first thing that I defaulted to was his role in Django.
Okay, the connection. I'm losing it.
Because in that situation that he was involved in, he was parlaying with a black woman. He was the only person of that time that had a person of color in his parlor, eating shrimp and the finest of foods.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so in my mind, that's who he is in real life.
Really?
That guy, yes.
Okay.
I think everybody that was cast in that movie is true to life in the role.
Very interesting. We'll have to have that conversation one day.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Listen.
Seriously, though, because that's what it is in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
And he hangs out with, you know, Jamie Foxx in real life. So, of course, you know, they're up 3 in the morning.
And Tobey Maguire.
Yes, and they're talking about black stuff and, you know, race relations and the whole nine. So, yeah, it makes all the sense.
Okay.
And Quentin Tarantino, because he's like black adjacent too. So
yeah, but I mean,
they're all in the same circle.
Yeah, but Quentin Tarantino was like 70s black exploitation, black.
He's a mess. He's different, but yeah.
He's probably, I mean, you know, which was cool for white guys to be in the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. But in 2023, 2024, you're keeping up with internet so
I
interesting.
think he has an appreciation for Black culture.
Nah, I
and
mean,
Black
I'm being
people.
funny,
Yeah.
but I just thought it was random and kind of interesting.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
So, we haven't had the pleasure of you gracing us in a few weeks.
Yeah,
we've missed you.
It's so funny. A lot of your listeners, they slid into my DMs when I was away, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what's happening here?"
They're like, "Where have you been? What's going on?"
Shout out!
Listen,
I'll
I
tell you where I
don't think
was.
they believed me when I said, I was like, "He's doing things. He's busy." I think,
I'll tell you exactly where I was. I was walking around Niles, Michigan. So shout out to the fine people of Niles, Michigan.
Okay, shout out Niles, Michigan.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah.
I would like to know.
And the Primitive Wellness Center.
Because, Andy, you look like you had something to say.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know if you made any comment about Trent's whereabouts. I think that's why some people were probably asking.
Well, on Valentine's Day, I said it was Valentine's Day.
Oh, was it?
It was.
I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah.
Was I gone on Valentine's Day?
You were gone on yeah.
Oh, my God. I didn't even realize that.
No, I'm just
And
lying.
I wasn't even on a date. That's crazy. I was at home sleeping.
Listen, sometimes you're your own best date.
Listen.
So before we get into the Terry Crews topic, I have been wanting to know about your thoughts on the Wendy Williams documentary.
Wow. I have a very controversial take on it that I don't think I should say out loud. Oh, Andy, please. You hop on the mic and say it. Okay, I'll say it since I'm being challenged from behind the glass. And I'll set it up this way. Yes, forensic accountant. I knew that forensic accountant was going to know about Niles, Michigan. Yes, those are all of my places. Yes, that's where my dad is from. Okay, we'll talk about
mentioning Benton Harbor.
Yes,
South
shout out to
Bend,
Benton Harbor
and some others.
And Niles, South Bend, all the same place. I love it. Yeah, that's my neighborhood. But Wendy Williams, wow. So I'll set it up like this. The opening, I think the first 5 minutes is all that we need to know about the documentary. She says it. I have wanted to be famous since I was 6. The only thing I know how to do is to be famous. So you take those two things, and what we know about Wendy Williams, this is a person who went to a sober house and basically kidnapped herself and isolated herself strategically to get out of her marriage and kind of canceled her own show so she could stop paying her husband all this alimony and these payments. So if you're strategic enough to do all of that, and the only thing you know how to do is to be famous and you're no longer in the spotlight, what do you do to get back in the spotlight?
So
you create a situation. Here's what I believe.
Okay.
I believe that the lymphedema or the leg thing is real. I believe that's real. But everything else is high performance art.
Interesting.
I believe that she is drunk. I believe that she's been drunk every day since her show got canceled. And if you are drinking every day and you're not eating, what do you have? You have a drunk person who's not really in their right mind. So you take away the alcohol, put them in rehab, feed them a bit, get them back on track. The dementia and the out of mindness kind of slows down. You kind of step back into reality. If you really pay attention to the documentary, there's so many moments of coherentness where she looks into the camera, she knows what's going on.
But isn't that how dementia works?
Sure. But, again, a person who is strategizing, who strategized all of this, I believe there's some strategy in this, but the strategy kind of went a little too far.
So, in that, are you saying that the conservatorship, she set that up? Or
what I'm saying is there was a reaction to her action. And it went a little too far.
Okay.
So what I will say is that when people want their money, they will get their money. If you don't make good on a contract, they come in to get their money one way or another. And how do you get somebody to give up their money back? Or how do you get your money back strategically when a person doesn't want to give it to you? When they haven't made good on a contract.
Which side are we saying hasn't made good on it? Okay, so those are your thoughts on Wendy.
Yes.
Okay, well, shout out to Wendy. Whatever's going on, we wish her peace, blessings, and
for sure.
Quick coming together of it. I will say this though, the 4.5-hour docuseries, it aired over 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday night. It averaged 1.4 million viewers same day, right? But that is more than triple the average primetime audience for Lifetime over the previous 3 weeks. So,
back to my point. If you want to be famous and that's all you know how to do, you're going to be famous.
So, Urban Spinster in the chat says it came out that the judge who ordered the guardianship is taking money from the very people who are the guardians she's appointing. I did see something in reference to that. All of it just seems very convoluted, and I'm unclear on some aspects. Do you think that the people that are currently around her, family members, the manager that we saw, the publicist, I think Sean Zanotti, do you think those people are in on it, or do you think that they mean Wendy well?
I think that Wendy put those people in place to kind of, as a buffer. Wendy knows what she's doing. She's strategic. I think that she put certain people in place, but she didn't think that a conservatorship was going to actually happen to her. She thought that she was in control of what she was doing, and it kind of spiraled.
Okay. Play games.
Yes.
So listen, actor Terry Crews, over the years, he's at times made some comments that people have disagreed with or landed him on the wrong side of controversies and so forth. But he is the latest to have a seat at Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. And I guess Shannon brought up the conversation around actors and the pay disparity. And not just pay disparity, but, speaking about independent films where I think Terrence said he only got paid $12,000 or something like that for Hustle and Flow, which was an independent film that John Singleton ended up, I guess, like mortgaging his house or something to produce it or whatever, and it took off and whatever happened. But, so he had a very interesting take about actors in Hollywood that are complaining about their pay. He said, you can't nod your head and say yes. He said, you can't nod your head and say yes when you really mean no. And so we'll hear a little bit more of his comments.
I don't know if you have any horror stories, but Terrence Howard said that he was only paid like $12,000 for doing Hustle and Flow. You have any horror stories in which you felt that you didn't get the proper compensation that you deserve?
First of all, I understand what Terrence is saying, but I have never, ever, ever looked at whatever money I got as a horror story. Mm-hmm. If I did it, I loved it.
Right.
See, but this is the problem. There's a saying I have to say, you can't nod yes and mean no. If I nod yes, I looked at the terms. They say, okay, you're going to pay me $4,000 for 2 days. Okay. If I said, okay, I can't come back later and be like, I only got $4,000 for that. Hey, man, that's what you presented.
Right.
So there it is. To me, I'm not going back on that. Right. And this keeps my heart always full of gratitude, because once I start to complain about any of that, it starts to mess with my legacy. I didn't get nothing for training day. How about that? I didn't get a zero, but it changed my life forever. You didn't know who I was if it wasn't for a no-paying job. First of all, name somebody play football for money when they start. You don't get no money.
Right.
You play football for free. You play basketball for free. Then you get all the way to the pros and you get the millions. Ain't no other way, bruh. There's nothing else. Wait, there's no way to hop, skip, and jump this thing. You see what I'm saying? But that's the thing. People are trying to invent ways to get right to the money. But, hey, man, first of all, nobody knew who I was, and I got my shot. I got paid maybe $4,000 on Friday after next, but that's why I came up to Cube and said, thank you. Thank you.
That was the start.
That was the start. Now, I make money now.
So, long story short, he's saying be accountable to what you agree to. And if it's not what you really want, don't say yes. And I agree with him to a certain extent. We all weigh out at times. This is what is an economic concept. I learned this in Econ 101 back in the day. Very basic concept. Opportunistic cost. That's what it's called. I'm sure forensic accountant will jump in with the proper, Yeah, so what it boils down to is you're doing something now for a greater gain later, whether that is studying, eating healthy, taking a job for $4,000 when you really like, my worth is $28,000 an hour, whatever it is, right? What are your thoughts, Trent?
Yeah, it's buyer's remorse. Again, you can't buy into something knowing what it is and then come back and complain later. You shouldn't have signed up for it. We see people do it all the time.
And so it's like, are you being treated unfairly when you are presented with the choice? You could say no.
Yeah, you can say no. But so for instance, my first job out of college, I really wanted to be making like $75,000 a year because I felt like I should have been making that much, right? Because I just finished working for the government and all this stuff. So the very first job that I took after graduating, I got paid $40,000 a year. Pennies, right?
This is
like 10 years ago, right?
You were like, that's not a lot of money.
$40,000,
that don't match.
Okay. However, I got 100% of my benefits paid. I got lunch every day paid by the company. I got unlimited vacation time. I could leave wherever I wanted to go and just, so there were other perks and benefits that balanced it out. So I took it. I eventually got the corner office a year later because I, paid the price and, took the pennies. But same thing. But I knew what I was signing up for, and you weigh it out.
When we come forward, we will dive into more of this topic about Terry Crews, plus more trending topics and headlines. And, the chat is full, so we're going to get to those comments in there.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you want to call in, 800-920-1580, all of that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is up next.
You make me reach my peak that day. That you wanted me, don't be afraid, please. Don't say no. My baby, your body is all I need.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Tennessee's Comptroller's Office will assist the Shelby County Clerk's Office. It comes as Comptroller of the Treasury, Jason Mumpower, called the office incompetent, saying he has no confidence in the way it manages its affairs. Shelby County Clerk Wanda Halbert, who is black, has been under fire for a while, with officials claiming she's not doing her job and some calling for her to be fired or resign. Mumpower says a team of auditors is being sent to Shelby County and workers will be helping with certain tasks. Some Tennessee parents are not happy about proposed changes to the MLK Academic Magnet School. It would get rid of 7th and 8th grade and expand the number of high school students allowed in the school. Those against the potential change spoke up during the Metro Nashville Public School meeting this week, worried that it would leave just one academic magnet middle school in the county. MNPS has the plan to phase out the grades by 2027. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Don't let a traffic accident ruin your day. Visit fixautousa.com to find the nearest Fix Auto location. Their highly trained and certified technicians will have you back on the road in no time. You have a choice on who fixes your vehicle. Tell your insurance agent that you want to go to Fix Auto.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, We will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare?
If so, the new LA Care plan called Medicare Plus can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0.
LA Care provides personalized service to Angelinos like us.
Plus, it gives us access to doctors and specialists across Los Angeles County.
For zero cost, we get access to full benefits.
From vision coverage,
in-home support services,
to prescription drug coverage,
and a quarterly over-the-counter allowance,
plus personal equipment,
meal programs,
a gym membership,
and so much more.
For more than 25 years,
LA Care has provided Angelinos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost.
For our families,
our seniors,
our community,
it's a plus.
It's a plus
for all of us.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ain't for everybody. Welcome to Hollywood, baby.
Picture.
Let's
not even talk about it.
Let's do it.
I see your jealousy as you're watching. You're watching. It's kinda sexy to me how you're watching. You're watching. I see your face, you wanna touch, you wanna touch. Come to my place, and let's discuss this, chop it up. Tonight you'll be a superstar. Come let me sign you up.
Let's get into it.
Listen, how appropriate. Andy's always on theme. Shout out to Andy for that. Welcome back into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. I mean, the lights, they do have a factor on people far and wide. So, Trent, we were talking about Terry Crews, and we're going to get to these YouTube comments. Do you think there's ever a case where, you say, we agreed that we were going to do this for $5, and 2 years later, you're like, you know what? I really should have got 15, and I'm going to sue you for that extra 10. Do you think that there is room for that, mitigating circumstances?
I think there's deals like that happen all the time, and we hear about it play out even in court, and sometimes even at the Hollywood Bowl during a Diana Ross concert. Lee Daniels.
Oh, that's right, Lee Daniels and Damon Dash.
Yeah.
Which, full...
I need my money, Lee.
And he got his money, and now he's about to lose the third of Rockefeller because the judge ordered it. Interesting conversation on It Is What It Is with Cam and Mace. They were asked by their host, Treasure, if they were buying the 1/3 share of Dame Dash that is out there of Rockefeller Records. And there's lots of little insider jokes. I don't remember the history with that, but, they were like, business is business, I'm here to make money. I know that Dame and Cam obviously came up together. Dame kind of put them in the game. He said Dame had them doing some messed up stuff like putting them in the back of cabs with the work and following behind in the car. So if they got pulled over, arrested, or whatever, he wouldn't have been involved. They were teens.
I mean, what's it better, drugs or the whole Puffy Empire collapse? I mean, are we getting trafficked or are we doing drugs? I mean, everybody's playing dirty, so what are we doing here?
That's a conversation.
I mean, LaToya Jackson was smuggling diamonds for the mob.
She did talk about that.
Yes, so there's always something going on.
Indeed, like always on theme. Andy said,
Yes.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
But we've talked about this before, especially on this show. I talked about it a little bit last night about, for me, I feel like my keys to success. We share a couple of them. I know when to say no thank you.
Yes.
I know when to go home.
Yes, that's the one, when to go home.
And
when I first started hanging out in Hollywood, my grandmother would call me on the phone. She'd be like, don't drink nothing. Don't leave your drinks unattended. Don't do none of that. And I'm like, Grandma, stop playing. She's like, nope. Like every time she felt if I was going out, don't leave your drinks unattended. And I'm here to survive because it's very true, because I've seen things. It's like, wait, what? Are we really doing that?
And I mean, at that time too, like initially, I didn't drink.
Yeah.
So I think that those three things.
And then I learned. I showed up to the place lit.
You showed.
You show up lit. Yeah. It
just wasn't my thing. But let's get to the chat because, they are always bustling in there.
Yes, LaToya Jackson smuggled diamonds for the mob when she was captured by Jack Gordon.
She wrote about it in her book.
In her second book.
The sequel to, what was the first book called?
The Playboy book.
Yeah. What was it called again? That she said
I think
she regretted
it was
it.
Growing Up, like with LaToya Jackson or something like that.
I remember reading that big hard.
It was a scandal.
It was. It really, really was.
It was a scandal.
So going back to the Wendy topic, Carrie Webb said the whole documentary was depressing. They're all in on it in some way.
Sure.
Forensic accountant says Wendy Williams is still a nerdy chick from Wayside. I don't know why she insisted on playing hood games for so long. Lil Shug was going to cease to be useful eventually. So
Kelvin.
You and him, same side.
Yep.
Pretty Brown Mimi says, I think Wendy should focus on her health and getting control of her life and finances again.
The health, sure. Finances, she gonna have to rebuild that all over.
You think?
Ain't no more money.
Oh, so you think that everybody is pilfered from it just because?
Well,
of the way the
I'm not gonna say ain't no more money. But that whole Wells Fargo account, she ain't got no money up in there. Like, hopefully, the sale of her condo will garner her the money that will net her the money that she needs to kind of, stabilize. But again, we're talking about somebody who has amassed millions of dollars. So her broke is not the normal version of broke.
Right.
Yeah.
There are certainly levels to this.
Because, baby, she's still sitting up in Chanel and Dior and Vuitton and just perched with a bottle of vodka in the bed.
Well, speaking of, I won't say broke, but, perhaps potential problems down the line, it has been announced that we mentioned Terrence Howard a little bit ago, and we know Terrence has retired from the industry, but kind of not. He has some upcoming projects that are coming out. He is in the film that is coming based on Shirley Chisholm's life that stars Regina King, called Shirley. He is in that. But it's recently been announced that he has been hit with a $1 million tax bill by a federal judge in Philadelphia. So, celebrity, Hollywood fame,
in
things
Philadelphia,
are happening.
of all places.
I mean, it depends on where the courts are. Like, they're federal courts in different areas, so that's where that one is. Excuse me. It says that it's for back taxes, basically. Unpaid taxes, interest penalties accumulated for over nearly a decade. So, maybe now we understand why Terrence is like, where are my coins? A reaccounting of things that have happened over the past few years. And, he's finding some areas where he had more expectations than what he's seeing.
Interesting. Count your own money.
I mean, but here's the thing. We say that, and that is very much true. But when you start getting into 7 and 8 figures, right? Is it real that you yourself will be able to track all of that and know which you're getting tax numbers if you're not, like, don't have a financial background, or math is just, you can do it, you know your percentages and whatever, but you're not a financial whiz? How realistic is that as you climb into, bigger tax brackets?
There's a thing called online learning. There's nothing to pop into an accounting 101, 102, 103, 201, 202, 203 course and to learn all this stuff, because I've done it.
You know what? And I appreciate that. But if you listen, right? If you're an actor on set, learning your lines on there X amount of times a day.
If you're really serious about there are people in Hollywood. Kim Fields is one of these people. There are lots of people that count their own money and they don't have all. And listen, people do it. You don't hear about it. It's not a thing that's common, but it's some people out there that do it.
Keep your coins.
Yeah.
Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, LA, when you're trying to get where you need to go, like work, school, and what matters to you, Metro is here to get you there. With discounted fares and free pass programs, Metro is making public transportation affordable and easy to ride for everyone. Plan your trip at metro.net.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So first up, we want to send thoughts and prayers to the family of Richard Lewis, comedian Richard Lewis. If you were a fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, played Larry's best friend on the show. He was a popular comic. I think he got his rise in the 80s. There was like a comedic Rat Pack. He was a part of it. And it was announced that he passed away today. So want to send heartfelt condolences to his friends and fans. Also, this is kind of a hard switch, but not. Jimmy Butler is in a new video, right? And it's the Fall Out Boy video. The song, I'm not sure the name of the song, I'm going to be honest with you. But I am upset, not that he is in his Western regalia, because Jimmy has always been very vocal about his love of country music and that he was a country guy and all of that. So I'm not mad at the purple country getup. I am mad that he is disrespecting DJ Quick, Jermaine Stewart, Barry White, and all of the other flowing-haired individuals with these scraggly ends on his silk press.
Oh, he's trolling.
He needs a trim.
He's not going to get a trim, though, because then he's going to have like a salt and pepper bob from the 80s.
He doesn't have to have a salt and pepper bob. He could just, they are thin and spacey. That's not attractive or healthy.
Well, he also should not have his hair like that either.
I mean,
so
and there's that.
Yes.
There's very much that as well. So, but you know, shout out to Jimmy being free.
Yeah, I love it though. It's all the way him. I know he's having fun doing it. He's having a good time.
I mean, listen, again, I am not mad if you want to troll. I just feel like I am personally offended at thin split ends. There's no need for it.
Yeah, that's a mess.
Forensic accountant says, that's why I became a financial professional. I thought broke people didn't have to file. Well, they came and got me in the early 90s and turned my $600 a week into $110 I didn't even owe. They got me for failure to file. The penalties for not filing are what they forced me to pay. That was when we were having the conversation about, you know, paying your own things. Listen, just make sure, you know, you tap in. Because I do respect and understand that there are people that are not necessarily savvy in that way. And then what are they to do? Even, you know, in teaching themselves, that's still not their thing, perhaps.
Right.
And, you know, we want people to do good
I just think different. And, you know, and even like teaching myself, that's just a control freak in me. I also like to like know people who do certain things. So like if you know me personally, like the people that surround me are like accountants and like attorneys and therapists. So if I'm having a crazy day, I can call someone like, am I crazy? Am I tripping? You know? So you have all these different people at your disposal, not for, because you never know when you're going to need an attorney or something like that.
I mean, there's that saying, your net worth is your net worth.
So I like to make friends with the people who are important and do things.
Boop, there it is.
Because you never know.
So, how many years has it been since Matt Barnes and Gloria Gavon have been divorced? Gloria's married.
10 years?
It's been a while, yeah.
Maybe 15.
Listen, they are still going through.
That was explosive. Wow. I'm just thinking wow.
It was a lot happening with that,
That was a lot of light skin crime.
I mean, they've since moved on to, other things. Like I said, Gloria's married to Derek Fisher. Matt has a new reality show with his fiance, Ananza Sims. And, they're still going to court with each other.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So.
I'm very uncomfortable talking about this. Can we not talk about it? I orbit too close. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, I will talk about it.
Yeah.
So.
This is uncomfortable for me.
Okay. Essentially, what is going on is that Matt Barnes alleged that she has still been using his American Express card without his knowledge to book trips. This is happening as they are still locked in child support battles. In a court decision, right, according to Radar, Gloria responded to this latest filing, calling his accusations lies. She noted that her attorneys expressed that she had an issue with their child support agreement in 2022, but Matt Barnes allegedly never brought it back up until last year. Excuse me. In the filing, she said, the omission is so contrary to human nature that it is virtually inconclusive evidence that Barnes' allegations of an oral agreement happened much later and that he fabricated the statement, probably not even thought of by him. This is what the documents say, according to Radar. She also addressed Matt Barnes' claim that they agreed to lower child support by $6,000. She said, considering that that's their son's tuition, however, she said that they agreed to that because that was what their son's tuition was. But she said that is false because their son's tuition is only $2,400. This is monthly. And that they split that, so it's not even that much out of pocket for him. It's less than that. So, again, they still have an ongoing saga. He is claiming that she charged $22,000 on his Amex for a family vacation.
But show the receipts, because if you charge on the Amex, it tells you the ticket, the airline, the name of the person. It tells you that on the statement. So flash the receipt.
Well, they're in court, so we will see what happens with that.
I'm telling you, it's right on the statement. Because, baby, I was so irritated when I got this statement in the mail today. Listen.
I know that it's on the statement. That's not my question. I'm just saying, in their court proceedings, I'm sure they will walk through that and circle around to it. But these are what is being attributed to that. Forensic accountant says, which sister was the one with the cat issues?
You know what? I'm not doing this with none of y'all on the internet tonight.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep moving. You really rolled out a screen?
Yes, because you didn't see that?
I saw it.
The last thing I need is somebody from that camp saying, well, why did you say, or why didn't, I don't have time for that. I'm not even friends with these people in real life like that. I just orbit too close, and I don't want any smoke. I love Gloria. I love Matt. I love Derek. Everybody's great.
As do I.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You good?
Oh, I'm excellent.
Okay. We just got to make sure.
Shout out to Matt Barnes for Pisces season.
Listen, I'm in the dark here, but maybe, I'll get clued in later. All right, so.
It's Pisces season. Matt Barnes is a
I
Pisces.
know that it is Pisces season.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's all.
talking about that as that I'm in the dark with. So listen, remember when Glorilla was shouting out Dame Lillard a couple weeks ago after NBA All-Star Weekend, saying whose
In
property was?
Indianapolis.
Yes. Well, in a recent interview, Dame reflected how it's been lonely as he has been in Milwaukee. He just stays in the house, really, orders a lot of Uber Eats, watches boxing videos on YouTube, and it's an adjustment because, he got divorced right before he was traded to Milwaukee. So he said, my best friends live in Portland, so I would come out, we would go to dinner, they might come to my house after practice, I might go to my mom's house and just chill. That's how my life was. So I'm fine because I'm grown, but I'm definitely lonely. I'm filled up by those people because obviously he moved most of his family to Portland since he thought that was going to be his forever team. But he filed for divorce from his ex-wife, Kayla, and she petitioned for sole physical custody of their children. So, I don't know. Some people are saying, is he lonely or is it just very strategic to get all of the women to hop into his DMs?
No, I don't think athletes don't need to do that for extra attention.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
But no, come on, really?
No.
Really?
You'd be surprised. Yeah.
I guess I would be.
What do you mean?
I'm not.
You always want a fresh batch. You may be tired of what's in there. Let's see.
But do you really need to put out some emotional terroristic call?
Yeah, sometimes. Why not? People do stranger things with less.
Trust me, I know. But I'm just saying, an athlete, you don't have to do all that. Come on.
You don't have to do a lot of things, and they still do.
I guess.
Andy?
Dame not doing that.
Why you say that?
Thank you. Somebody, because come on.
His character is not thirsty. I don't think it's that serious.
And anyway, just hop on a plane and go to Portland and hang out for the weekend. Come on.
He's not going to do that. He's importing in. It's shenanigans.
Export yourself.
Can't do that. Got practice. Got things to show up to. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into pretty privilege and the problems that stem from it, plus more trending topics and headlines. All of that and more on the other side. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Come let me sign you up. Ooh, it's the life. You're blinded by the action. Need that Hollywood. Ooh, it's the life. You're blinded by the action. Need that Hollywood. Come on. You hear him screaming. The camera's rolling. You're so addicted.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Tennessee's Controller's Office will assist the Shelby County Clerk's Office. It comes as controller of the